So, we are currently on our way to Zion. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is.
So, last time we came was about a year and a half ago for our honeymoon, actually. We did a national parks road trip, kind of up and around from Arizona back to Texas when we were living in Texas. But we didn't actually make it into the park.
Zion was under strict COVID lockdown. They had all their buses at half capacity and you had to have a ticket. We did not know about that.
Zion is one of my favorite parks, personally. I love it. But yeah, the Club Canyon is really nice to check out and around that area, so that's mainly what we did. But Preston's never actually been in the park for reals.
So today, we get to change that. Now that there's no tickets required for the shuttles, you just show up and get on and go. So
hopefully we'll actually make it in.
yes.
I hope that we just applied for the day before lottery for Angel's Landing, since they have that new pilot program going right now. So I'm really hoping we get that. That would be pretty awesome. Right now it's like just before it starts getting into the really crazy busy season, so that would be pretty cool before we come back later in the fall. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I just really hope we get in the park this time.
Well, good morning. What do we have going on here?
Got some eggs.
Some eggs over a nice wood fire.
Some bell pepper in my mouth.
I was gonna say the bell pepper's up there,
Got
not
some
here.
carrot in my coffee.
Carrot. How do those veggie coffees taste?
You know, actually, not bad. Leftover dinner veggies and coffees. Like a little extra flavor.
A little extra. She's all veggied out today.
First of all, where can you get a view like that? It is literally all around this campsite. It's beautiful. We have enjoyed it to the max, so I hope y'all do too one day. But first thing to know about Zion is there are 3 different campgrounds. So we are currently at the Watchman campground. There's also the South campground, which is just above us, as well as Lava Point, which is going to be on the opposite side of the park. That one would be really great if you plan on backpacking like the West Rim Trail, or if you're looking for something a little more secluded and a lot less traffic. Watchman, however, is the only one that's opened year-round, so you can make reservations up to 6 months before you visit. If you do it last minute, sometimes it can be difficult to get a site that you stay at multiple days in a row. So I would suggest making a reservation at least a few weeks out if you plan on being here more than 2 nights. So, you got us some brewskis.
Yeah, I did. Got us a hard apple peach cider for me.
Yum.
And a Park City Brewing Sneaker Tree IPA.
Alrighty, how could you go wrong? I'm curious about this because I don't always like IPAs that much, so we will give it a shot. Where'd you get these bad boys?
I got them at the Campers Market outside of the park in Springdale.
Sweet, I'm excited to try them.
Oh, that's a good glass of cider right there.
Like I said, I don't typically like IPAs, but this little guy right here, Sneaker Tree, it's a good one. I like it. I kind of like something a little harder too after it's like long, hot, sun-kissed, you know? It's refreshing.
We're very sun-kissed too.
We are at our last morning here at the Watchman campground. So we are just going to share a little bit of current statuses for Zion April 2022.
So right now it is beautiful weather.
Very windy.
Can't complain about that. At night it gets super windy, but during the day it's not too bad. But there is something to be aware of, is the Anatoxin in the water from a dog that died in the North Fork sometime last year. So you can't drink the water. Safe to swim. They say just wash your hands and clean off and stuff. Don't drink the water, even filtered. Some of the trails that we did that we really enjoyed was one it overlooks the Watchman campground. It's not actually by it to start it. You go back towards the visitor center and across the road and stuff, and it follows along the river for a second, and then it goes up into the canyons over here on the right side of the campground. And it was spectacular views in the morning trail.
We underestimated it for sure. It would probably be a really good spot for a sunrise if you want to get up early and do a trail that's close to camp, which is really, really nice.
Yeah. And the other trail we did in Zion proper area here off these was off of stop number 6, which is the grotto. And that was the Caineta trail up to the Emerald Pools and back down, which was a pretty nice little area. It was very crowded because currently also they have Weeping Rock, which houses several trails, including the East Rim, closed due to a rock fall. So it's really crowded on a few of those trails.
There's no status currently of when that's going to open back up. I have personally been to Weeping Rock though, and it is definitely worth checking out. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, like Preston said, the Emerald Pools, especially the upper one, a lot of people like to hike up there to eat lunch with their families. So if you plan on doing that, just know that you might be fighting the crowds a little bit, which to me can sometimes be annoying. Zion is definitely not a secluded trail hiking kind of park. So if you want to trailblaze, I would suggest going up to the Kolob Terrace area.
Yeah, so going up Kolob Terrace, it's like a 20-mile drive outside the park, and then it comes back into the park on the north side. And it has a couple of trails up there, pretty long ones. A couple of them you have to have permits to do, but you can do the Wildcat Trail without a permit, or one that we did, which was about a 6-mile trail, and it's the North Gate Peaks. And that was a spectacular trail. It's very flat to nowhere. Like, it's just 2 miles of flat, no elevation or anything. And then you can kind of scramble up the rock to the peak of one on the left, or I think you can go to the one on the right. We didn't do that though. Yeah,
it's about a half mile just straight up. There's a few cairns to direct you where the trail's actually at. Definitely very steep. You want to have good traction on your shoes. I would recommend not doing it in wintertime while there's still snow and ice conditions. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. That was probably my favorite hike.
Yeah, it was my favorite.
This is our piece of art that we bought from the West Gallery in Springdale. That is too cool. And the artist owns the gallery, so he was there and he signed it for us. So definitely take a stop at the West Gallery. They have tons of the smaller sizes like this. Also have like massive pieces of art, which we will definitely be returning to get some more pieces. But Check that out. Like, oh my gosh. I can't wait to put that in our house.
It's
I
very
love art.
awesome. I love it.
It's inspiring. Pretty cool. So we are currently at Deer Creek Coffee. We did not make a fire this morning since we're about to head out. Usually I do coffee over the fire. So I got my oat milk cappuccino. Round 2. The first one I was not a fan of at Love Coffee.
Feel love.
Feel love. Feel love, love coffee.
Feel love coffee. It's not.
Coffee does make you feel loved, but I did not feel loved by that cappuccino. It was very vegan, so if you're a vegan, that would be the place for you. I'm not a vegan though, so I was not a big fan of it, and whenever they give you a cappuccino in a big cup, that's always kind of like a no-go for me. So I would definitely recommend Deer Creek Coffee for morning espresso, and they also have lots of food and smoothies.
And smoothies.
How is your smoothie?
It's good. I like it.
But that would be our pick for morning coffee. And you get a pretty cool little seating area up on this balcony here, which I love.